What's up guys, so iOS 13 is now official with a lot of great things and a lot of great products, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at everything Apple announced at WWDC 2019. So Tim Cook began the keynote with tvOS. Apple updated the tvOS to look a lot like iOS. It's a lot friendly now with more roundish corners, and it's even got a control center off to the side, more screensavers, Apple Music with lyrics in real time, and so much more. Apple is also extending support to Xbox One and PlayStation DualShock 4 game controllers to tvOS, which will cover the ones that the upcoming Apple Arcade gaming service will include. Now moving on to the watchOS, you got a ton of new watch faces here, which looks pretty cool, and the Apple Watch has been very dependent on being near an iPhone. Basically, most of the apps you have on the watch are sort of extensions of the real app that you have on the iPhone, but with watchOS 6, Apple will introduce more APIs for developers to build completely independent apps that will work straight off the watch. And to start this off, Apple is bringing a bunch of new apps for the timepiece, audiobooks, voice memos, and calculator will now be able to run straight off the watch. And to make it easier to find apps, there will be a fully functional app store in the watch as well. Now in terms of the health, Apple is updated a lot here. We will now get a trends feature which will allow us to get a better look at our activity statistics over longer periods of time, from 90 days to a full year. These will show us the well-known statistics of active and standing time, but also show us our pace, speed, and cardio fitness spreads. If we are trending up in the activity, great, but if we are falling behind, the watch will give us a few simple tips on how to improve and get back on track. There's also new loudness warning which will let us know we might be putting ourselves in a situation which may damage our hearing. Apple Health will also get a special section for the ladies' cycle tracking, which should be able to predict the next cycle as well as a fertile windows. And overall, the new interface are nice too. So there you have it, watchOS 6. You're getting a new watch faces, new health features, and independence from iPhone. Now moving on to the big one, the iOS. So the iOS 13 remains true to the tried and proven layout. There are no substantial change when it comes to the logic and structure of the interface, but here's the one new feature in iOS 13 that can give your iPhone a fresh new look, and that is the long-awaited dark mode. Users have been asking for a dark mode in iOS, and finally Apple bring this in iOS 13. With this dark mode, the whole system comes redesigned and ready to take full advantage of a new look. The general iOS interface and all the built-in apps are going to support dark mode. It isn't yet clear if developers will have to update their apps to support dark mode. As for the speed, Apple promises app downloads with iOS 13 are going to be 50% smaller, while app updates will be even more compact at 60% smaller. This should significantly speed up the process of downloading and updating apps. Another great news is that the app load times are going to be reduced by up to 2 times, and Apple mentions Face ID, which is promised to work 30% faster under iOS 13. Now with iOS 13, Apple also upgraded their apps like iMessage. In iMessage, users will be able to share their name and profile picture with other iMessage users, but of course visibility of these details will be configurable. The stock iOS keyboard is also getting swipe-like input finally, which Apple calls Quick Path. Apple is also significantly upgrading Memoji with a ton of new personalization options and Memoji stickers, auto-generated emojis based on your created Memojis. These stickers will be available for use not only in messages but in all other text applications as well, as they'll be a part of the emoji keyboard. The mail application also has been upgraded as well, and now it is getting support for rich text formatting, allowing for a more advanced way of expression, and that includes using custom. We also gain the ability to mute certain threads, block specific senders, or use flags of varying colors. The Reminders app has been redesigned as well with a new look and a ton of new options. Also, Apple is continuing to improve its Maps application, and the latest additions will be in the form of way more detailed maps and a brand new feature similar to Google Maps Street View. The new and considerably more detailed maps, which brings more precise addresses, better pedestrian data, and road coverage, should be available in select US cities right now. The company promises to have the entire United States covered by the end of 2019, and certain other countries may be in 2020. And the 2020 iPhone will also be the killer. There were some leaks about the iPhone 12, or I would say 2020 iPhone, which I have covered in this video, so go check this video out through card. And regarding device support, so iOS 13 supports the A9 chipset and above. That includes the iPhone SE and iPhone 6s. Photos application also gets a huge upgrade. There's a new share sheet, and there's also a major upgrade in main tab, where users will be able to view their images by all photos days, months and years. Some of these view options work in very interesting ways. The new Photos app also introduced some welcome new editing options such as white balance, sharpening and noise reduction, and all of these editing options are also coming to video as well. Also, Apple is adding some great features to AirPods. AirPods can now announce message in the fly, and you can use 2 sets of AirPods with one iPhone, meaning you can share songs and watching movie with somebody else. Also, iOS 13 is built with privacy in mind. There is a new single sign-in made by Google that will work within applications. That way the application never really get your information. That is iOS 13. It is available for developers from today so that they can start optimizing and updating their apps to support all the new iOS 13 features. And in July, Apple is going to release a public beta version where regular users will be able to get a taste of this new iOS 13. And finally, the official iOS 13 release is going to happen in the fall with iPhone 11 lineup. Now, as for the iPad, so iPad is not a part of iOS anymore. Apple's iPad is hands down one of the most popular tablet out there, and there's a good news for this. The tablet runs a redesigned version of iOS and only plays apps that were specifically made for the iPad, and they call it the iPadOS. They've completely reworked to the way that it works. There is a new text manipulation system, built-in widgets view on the home screen. There is a multi-window for the same application, and drag and drop is much more in-depth. It works through many other applications, so I really like the changes they've made on the iPadOS. And the Files app is now gets even more complex. It supports USB drives, SD card drives, and there's also an update to Safari with full desktop-like browsing to take full advantage of the iPad display. There's now a dedicated download manager in Safari, and you can actually adjust fonts in certain applications, not system-wide fonts but inside applications, which is really great. Now, Apple has reworked the input on the iPad. First off, with the Apple Pencil, latency has been reduced from 20 to 9 milliseconds through software, which is extremely crazy. There's a new single keyboard on the side, and with a pinch you can get to the screen, drag it around. There's also new markup tools, a new way to take a screenshot by dragging from the corner of Apple Pencil on any page, taking full screen screenshot, I mean full scrolling screenshot, and much more. So this is iPadOS, really great. And after this, Apple went to the Macs and they announced this freaking Mac Pro. At first glance it looks like a grater, but when you go inside of it, you realize what actually is this. The insane amount of power provided by the Mac Pro, and seems like Apple over-engineered this thing in all areas. So yeah, that's all here. The video is too long, so I have to end this video. If you guys want more videos on this topic, so let me know in the comment section below, and please make sure to subscribe, and yeah, see you soon.